Hi, this is Tweek. On today's episode of Tweaks with Tweek, we're going to add another little dancer to our collection of beaded dancers, only this one is a dancer with heart. Join us. Supplies you'll need for this project are, you'll need beads, heart-shaped beads, finding beads. You will need cap beads, some wire. I use a 0.018 beading wire. You'll need some rondelle beads, and 4-inch and 3-inch head pins. So let's get started. If you'd like to win this Dancer with Heart, leave a comment by February 11th, and you're entered to win our giveaway. I got this idea. I had a little red plastic beads, heart-shaped beads, perfect for the Valentines season. And I thought I wanted to make another little dancer, and I'd work that heart into her body. Dancers with Heart. I'm having such a hard time getting a hold of beads. Didn't think I wanted to use these plastic ones, so I ordered the crystal bead. So I'd already made some of the dancers with the plastic bead, and the crystal beads showed up. Made a few of those, and I came to find out that I like the plastic, the looks of it, better. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you the crystal beads, but I'm going to use the plastic bead in our design. Now, I'm having a real hard time getting not just crystal heart beads, but any beads at all, and pins, 4-inch head pins. So I just really ransacked my bead supply and came up with every finding and kind of bead that I could use to make this design. So we're going to start with making the skirt. Now this is a half cluster bead ball, but I'm going to add some little beads to it to sparkle up her little dress a little bit. So that's where we'll start with the half cluster. I have done other videos where you can see the half cluster ball made in a slower pace. Today I'm going to lay out the beads and run right through it. So if you'd like to see it at a slower pace, check out one of those videos. So let's go. I always begin with my chart, and it just helps me to keep on track. To make a half cluster ball, you need 20 beads. A full cluster would be 30 beads. Today we're doing the half. So I've got 20 beads here, and I'm going to line them up. I've done these dozens of times, but I still rely on this guide to keep me on track as I go. If I lose my place as I'm stringing the beads, I can refer back and get right back in sync with where they need to be. Then I need bead wire. This is a 0.018 wire, and I'm going to use a little over maybe 2 feet. I'd rather use more than less, because it's easier to tie it off in the end if I have a little more wire to work with. So here we go. There's a right and a left side. Put on the first 5 beads. Always follow our guide. 5 beads first. Okay, buddy up the 2 ends of the wire. I want to get those 5 beads as close as I can to the center of the wire. And we're going to pull the wire through the last bead on the line. And we end up with a little pentagon. 5 beads, we're always going for 5 beads. I want to make sure these 2 buddy up. That's pretty good, good enough. All right, left side, right side. Here we go, 4 beads. Follow the sequence. 4 beads strung on the right side wire. Let them meet. Bring the left side over and go through that last bead on that set and pull it through. And you have 2 sets of 5. But we need to hook those last 2 together. Buddy up the 2 neighbors. Now you flip it around so that the little concave that's showing is going to be towards you. Left side, right side. Got a three beads in the next sequence. 3 beads on the right side. Let them meet up. Bring the left wire around and go into that last bead. Pull. Now we want to buddy up those little 2 beads where you came out. Go to the neighbor and see how you're hooking them up. You're making a little triangular shape with the wire. Okay, I'm always turning it around because I want the concave side towards me. Left side, right side. Here we go. 3 beads on the right side wire. Let it meet up. Bring the left side around and go through that last bead. Okay. Now, buddy up to the neighbor. You've got 2 beads there. See, ready for the next set, which is going to be another set of 3. 3 beads, left side, right side wire, 3 beads on the right side. Ooh, the reflection keeps me from finding the hole there, and there we go. Let them meet up. Left side wire comes through. Pull. And we're almost done. Now, we're going to buddy up to the neighbor. We have 2 beads to come on, so you want to go 1 more bead over. And now you've set it up so you've got 3 beads waiting. Left side, right side, and we'll take the last 2 beads and string them on the right side. And let them go down the wire and meet up. Bring the left side wire in and go through that last bead. And your half cluster's done. Except I like to not only go into the next neighbor, but go all the way around, skim around each bead so we can add some strength to that edge, strength to the little dancer skirt here. Just skim through. I'll add some to this side too. Yep, we got to go 1 more through. Now the 2 wires have met up. So we're going to add a knot. Basic knot. Give good tug. And 1 more. And this time, to really ensure it's tight, I'm going to use the pliers. Give good tug. I love this wire. It's easy to use and very strong. Now, you could use the scissors, but I like the clippers because you can get right up next to the knot. Here we go. Come on. There we go. Save back that wire. I might need it for something. And that would be normal, done for my dancer, but this is a Valentine dancer with heart. I'm going to add a little bit of decor on the bottom. More beads. These little tiny beads are going to go between. So I'm going to take some more wire. I could have added the beads as I went around, but I didn't like the look. I'll show you that in a minute. So pick a spot and push the wire through. This is like skimming like we just did. Go through 1 bead at a time and add 1 of these little decorative beads. Okay. Then proceed to the next bead. Go through. Now you've got this little red bead sitting between the 2. See? Okay. And as you notice as we go along, add another bead. The pattern, because of the way the wire angles, goes up and down along the edge of the skirt here. See? Down, up, down, up. I just really like that. So that's one of the reasons why I chose to add these beads in a second wire instead of doing it while I was tightening on the bottom. So now this one's kind of angling up. See? As you pull tight, see? Doot, doot, doot. keep going. Now this bead had the knot, but there's plenty of room to add another piece of wire. So let's go past the knot, and this little bead here helps to hide that knot as well. You see? Okay, looks like we've got 2 more beads to go. It's pretty. So now both the wires have met. I'm going to add a bead, the final bead, and then I'm just going to make some knots. Final bead down. Okay, I'm going to try to make the knot right there. Get the bead in the right spot. There we go. Excellent. And then I'll add another knot. And you might see the knot a little bit, but the bead mostly hides it. See? I'll make sure I've got it nice and tight. Okay. Wow, that's nice. Now I take these guys and come in as close as I can. See how it goes up and down? I think that's so pretty. The little skirt is all set. Let's make legs. I'm going to use some 3-inch pins. I've had such a hard time finding the pins I need for this project. Head pins, 3-inch. That's okay for the legs. It's proper length for my design. For the arms, I wanted a 4-inch pin. And I had 1 singular pin left. So that will be for her arms. We'll set that aside. Right now, legs. I want to start with a bead that's more oblong. Here again, not exactly what I was looking for, but I'm making do with what I've got on hand. And I'm going to make that look like a little slipper, a dancer's slipper. And I'm going to add a couple little findings to spiff it up a little bit. So I put down a little teeny bead, an elongated bead that's supposed to represent the foot. And then a little bead to represent the cuff. And then I'm going to fill that up with red beads, little teeny red beads. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to go at least a dozen little beads. I want to go all the way up as far as I can on the leg. Then I'm going to put a little hanger there at the top, just by bending the wire around. However many beads are on this leg, go on the other leg. I'm going to fill almost to the top, just enough for me to make a little circle, a place to hook her legs up to her body. That leaves me just enough here to take my curling pliers and curl the edge. So I'm just curling that down. See, that's a dancer's leg. Now, make another. Okay, we've got a little teeny bead at the top where her toe would be. Okay, now with any luck here, we've got 2 legs close to the same length. We do. Let's attach them. These 2 legs are going to hang underneath the skirt. So first of all, I want to get a bead, same bead size I used here. Let's find one. I don't want the bead to fall through that space, but I don't want a bead so big that her legs will be really spread out. So I'm going to run with this one. All right, we need some wire. The wire is going to be holding her all together. So I'm going to give myself a goodly amount. And we're going to take the wire and string a leg. Then string the bead. See, it won't fall through. That's the most important part. And then string the other leg. Pull it to the middle. She's doing splits. Pull that through the skirt. And the one bead will hold it and keep it from coming all the way through. See? Okay, now, because this is wire, we can angle these legs up. Right now, that's actually kind of a cute little pirouette thing going on there. So let's continue. I'm going to add a little half cluster. That's going to be the next part. So when you make these, just really, well, just keep your patience because the tiny beads are a challenge, but it can be done. So I'm going to put another little bead, just a stop gap between this spot here, help hold the wires together, and this little piece here. So I want that one little bead I just got rid of would be actually really good. I want to give this a little bit of support. So pull it down. See how it brings the two leg wires together. Now she looks like she's jumping in the air. Okay. And then add this one. And you'll see when I get it down there. See, it adds to her skirt. That's good. That's good. What is next? Next, I'm adding just a little decorative piece, and this would act as her waist, or let's say like a belt. And these are just findings that I had kicking around. So the basic design is the same. You just work with what you've got. Wow, this dancer's going to be moving her little legs. Okay, next comes the purpose of this whole thing, and that is the heart. I'm going to use one of the red hearts. Because I'm putting the heart with the pointy side down, that little finding there will help to hold it in position. And that becomes her bodice, the basic part of her body. Yes, I haven't even have her all made, and I already talk about her like she's a real thing, but she's actually a very, very cute little dancer. Next, we need to make her arms, and I'm adding a couple more rondelles that are going to act as her neck area. So let me look at my design here. I'm going to put a rondelle bead on the wire now. Okay. See, every time I pick her up, her legs are in a different position. I just love that. Okay, and then we're going to create her arms. We're going to use a couple little beads to represent her hands. Let me see. And here again, decide what do we want to do here. Oh, here we go. Represent her hands. And then I'm going to add a decorative rondelle again. Give her a little bit of sparkle. And then I'm going to fill up the bead with red ones. Let me show you. This would be a hand. This would be a rondelle bead. Now you could get more fancy if you want. I've got a couple other beads here that would really look pretty. Here's some that I like. They're little cat beads. I believe these are left over from some other string of beads that I had. So I'm taking, before I put that rondelle bead on, I'm going to put this little cat bead on and watch what it does to her little hand. It makes it look like she's got a bit of a cuff. It's just a little thing, but I really like it. Add the rondelle. See how that just changes? Now we're going to load up with these red ones. I'm using the whole pin for both arms. So halfway through, I'm going to add a circle by curling it up, and then I'm going to finish off. That's where her hands would be. I'm thinking that's a pretty good measurement. Now I'm going to, my last 4-inch wire, I'm going to put a circle here, and this is going to represent her neck. So I'm going to buddy this curling pliers right up to that bead, and I'm just going to pull this around. All right, here we go. 9, my lucky number. And I have just enough there to curl an end so that nothing falls off. Just barely enough there. to make the tiniest little hook or loop. Bring it around and give it a little bit of a crimp. Now, I don't mind that that's hanging there, and if you wanted your dancer to be holding something, she could be, but now I'm going to take the arms. They're going to sit there on her neck, and I'm going to, let's use our bigger pliers, hold tight onto this piece right here, the circle. Okay, and I'm just going to bend her arms down just a little bit. That's what her arms look like. A 4-inch pin does it. You could do 2 pins, but they make a bigger neck area, which I just didn't like. I liked the 4-inch pin, lets the sit flatter. Push both wires through and see how they sit there. A little better. They kind of hug into that spot. Now, to ensure that they stay there, I'll get another little piece. Like, look at, here's a little finding here. I want something that's going to help cover up that spot. I've got a little gold piece here. Silver and gold. Okay, run that down. Does that sit better? Well, I think it does. See? It kind of acts like a little collar. Her arms were flipping. The only problem I had with the heart was it's got that shape that makes it a little more challenging to work with. So I'm going to pull down this bead, just manipulate it a little bit so it sits better. All right, well, that's as good as that one's going to get. Let's add her head. Head is a big bead, and maybe too big. Again, I'm working with what I had, and there's her head. I'm actually liking this. It's different than what I planned, but I still think she's pretty. All right, to finish her off. Here again, I tried hard to find little bead caps. So I'm going to use this one. And that acts as a little bit of a cap. To me, it like represents some hair or a fancy hat. But I just like the looks of it. And then we add, these beads are funny. I got this off an old ornament, and they're shaped like a wheel. Isn't that interesting? Do you think I could ever find these again? I don't know, but I had 2 of them left. So one of them is going on as a little cap for our dancer. Isn't that cute? And now to finish her off, well, she's still dancing. I'm going to add, it looks like I just finished her off with, let's add another gold. Or do I want to add one that matches her collar? Let's see how that looks. Oh, yeah. And then add one more bead. Let's put a little bead on the top. Yep, little one. And then we'll see if we like her, because we could take her all apart and redo her. No, oh my goodness. See, now I'm liking this. But now I want to make sure she stays together. You're seeing that side. I'm showing you this side. So, crimping bead. I'm going to put a crimping bead right at the top, and I'm going to hold on tight because I've got way too much wire here. So I'm going to put the 2 wires through that little crimping bead. See? Down it goes. I'm going to pull off some of this excess. Right, here we go. And I'm going to take this wire, push it back through that bead. Now, this is a little bit on the tricksy side because you've got to pull as hard as you can to keep her taut. See how it's gone through? Okay. Now I will adjust to what size I want this loop to be. Okay. Now I can pull down really hard to get her straightened out. And while it's really tight there, this can hang out here, and I will clip it because I couldn't get it to stay. I'm going to, while I can, grab that bead, pull again, and make it as tight as I can, and crimp it. So, she's definitely going to stay together now. Then I'm going to come up here and get as close as I can, just crimp that, get that wire out of there. Try again. Now you can take your arms and you can maneuver them because they're wire, the bead wire it's the bead pin instead of the wire, so you can actually make her a little more expressive with her movement. And you can move her arms and legs too, see? So however you want your little gal to pirouette. I'm just playing with her now. Let's put her out straight again. There's our little dancer with a heart, our little dancer. And there you have it. Isn't she adorable? I think so. I made several of these little dancers, and the one we made today is going to be a part of our giveaway for this month. So if you get a comment in by February 11th, then you could be the one to have this little one dancing around your house. I surely do. Hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do enjoy them. They're just adorable. So if you like what you've seen here today, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to ring the bell so you know when another episode of Tweaks with Tweek is coming along. Until then, dance with heart. Make yourself a lovely little dancer who will sparkle up and brighten your day. See you again